the ice cream cone of learning, the brain, enrichment, and the power of audiobooks. Written by Theodore Reynolds, and narrated by him too. Acknowledgements. Teaching my daughter to love audiobooks changed my life, and far more importantly, it changed her life. I wrote this book and created this course because my daughter came home from public school stamped as learning disabled. And through her negative self-talk and growing desire to escape this education through video games, I could see the path of so many of my own childhood peers, a life sadly missing the heartiness of good books. I love books. And now so does my daughter, and the entire trajectory of our lives has changed. This is a story and a guide which can help you teach your own child to love books through the leveraged use of audiobooks. The contents of this book were not easily come by, and I hope they are received as the distilled spirits of a long-aged and very high-priced education. To all those who participate, like beginning a healthy exercise routine, the effects of this program take time, but build and grow and are inevitable. Thank you for all your support. Participation is a teacher's best friend. Finally, thank you, Colorado, for being a haven of tolerance in a world of educational oppression. Oh, and remember, Garden of the Gods means Colorado rocks. Learning objectives. Grades K through 12 and beyond. Subject Enrichment. By the end of this course, you will understand the difference between reading and literacy. You will understand how enrichment can help struggling readers enjoy books. You will understand the power of audiobooks. You will know 4 benefits of listening to audiobooks. You will know how to enrich printed books using the ice cream cone of learning system. You will know how to promote creative and critical thinking through literacy. You will be able to enrich any book. You will be able to use audiobooks to improve literacy, and you will be able to make ice cream. Real ice cream. No, really. Forward. A traditional emphasis on mechanical reading practice is often counterproductive, leading to many bored students and frustrated parents. Audiobooks offer an effective alternative route toward improved literacy for students who, for any number of reasons, struggle with reading. By emphasizing a love of story and immersion into language, students develop a greater total literacy, which makes learning the tiny subskill of reading very much easier, though, ironically, of ever diminishing value. Now, learn how to turn reading into ice cream by making some ice cream right now. Introduction. The quality of the learning environment does not just affect the quality of the learning experience, but, as with other technologies, a school building is a technology that alters human behavior. Consider that many public schools look more like prisons than places of learning, and the behavior of many students becomes more understandable. The live Ice Cream Cone of Learning presentation takes place at the newest Pikes Peak Library District branch location, known as Library 21C, located on the northern edge of Colorado Springs. This library filled a building formerly occupied by some sort of technology company, allowing the library system to take advantage of the building's pre-existing technological infrastructure to leverage the library's budget to provide a disproportionately high level of overall technology. This includes a professional quality recording studio, a world-class public maker space, and the presentation room known as the venue at 21C, a versatile meeting and performance space available to the public, equipped with professional lighting, audio, and projection systems, accommodating groups as large as 400. Library 21C is a fine model of a 21st century learning environment. The HVAC, bathroom facilities, and the floor-to-ceiling windows with glorious views of Pikes Peak are also highly conducive to learning. Understanding why a high-functioning learning environment needs good bathrooms is rather self-evident. However, there are numerous studies showing the relationship between a sense of relative physical comfort and overall improved cognitive performance. Moreover, the open floor plan invites interaction with fellow patrons, staff, and a wealth of other resources. Finally, there are an abundance of study rooms, likewise with full windows and quiet, available usually without reservation. Entering such an environment, like entering the flow of an ice skating rink, generates its own self-organizing behaviors, which only adds effectiveness to the in-person experience, and is why I suggest, if you get a chance, please sign up for the live presentation. Priming the audience. Prior to the presentation, participants are required, by the nature of using the library facilities, to register through email. Being able to communicate prior to the presentation allows for a bit of priming, which warms attendees' neurons up a bit and gets them ready to be activated even further. After completing registration, as confirmation, they receive an email from Mindtreex. The subject line reads, "Ingredients List," and the content of the email is formatted for a quick and easy skim, scan, and scroll review. This priming content includes the learning objectives above, with key vocabulary words bolded, and a short self-test consisting of a 5-question survey involving the key concepts and vocabulary from the coming presentation. For example, what is the difference between reading and literacy? The goal of this is simply to get the participants to notice the words. The survey will not be filled out and returned by most, but only viewed, and most likely viewed quickly. At the end of the email, however, is an overly dramatic warning. Participants attending the ice cream Kona learning presentation are hereby warned to wear clothes that might get ice cream on them, and are thus encouraged to wear a completely irrelevant costume to avoid messing up good school clothes. Those who do for their bravery and audacity will be rewarded with a bonus. The presentation includes 3 instructors, a ringleader, and 2 assistant presenters working the audience. In the fully enriched presentation, all 3 presenters are dressed in slightly steampunk attire. Very specifically, the lead presenter sports a distinctive handlebar mustache, a crusty old top hat, a brass-buttoned suit, and a pocket timepiece. These embellishments are a vital enrichment component meant to open wide the door for any and all engagement. Lights. On the day and time of the event, the assistant presenters act as ushers welcoming each parent and child team, showing them to their table, upon which is a mysterious closed box, containing the materials necessary for the presentation, of course. In the background plays a selection of non-traditional music and a slideshow of interesting and humorous images runs on the projector. When the start time arrives, church bells toll, and the lead presenter takes the stage under a spotlight. To officially begin the lesson, here is established the standard of behavior for this class. Suddenly, in a very stern and serious manner, an explanation of the very strict rules of participation for this presentation begins, with repeated admonishments against blurting out answers. Then, in a final warning, taking advantage of the brassed-up cane, or teaching staff, to emphasize the point, the presenter exclaims, "Such behavior is unacceptable and will not be tolerated." Next, the second assistant takes a seat in the spotlight on the stage to demonstrate and allow for an explanation on the proper technique for indicating the desire to provide an answer or otherwise comment and gain the attention of the presenter. Very formal training on how to make sounds and movements like a monkey. With eyes hopefully fixed on the instructor at this point, here begins a 3-point demonstration and description of how to make sounds like a monkey, which, if done correctly, will provide the ideal signal for the presenter's call. Relying once again on the cane, this time as a pointing stick, the lead presenter highlights a few key actions necessary to generate the desired effect, including flailing arms overhead and bouncing in and out of a seat. The purpose of this serious instruction on how to behave like a monkey is an attempt to break prior expectations of what learning can and should, and at least for the rest of this presentation, will be. Furthermore, the paradoxical epistemology of this act is a bizarre and grand invitation for kinesthetic engagement. Physical activity during the learning of a task, think tying shoelaces by following a demonstrator, has a positive correlation with scores on tests of memory for that task. The bouncing around, the fidgeting, the walking in circles that children sometimes engage in is, on a neurobiological level, literally part of the learning and should be appreciated as a sign of engagement rather than observed as a symptom of attention deficits and hyperactivity. Destroying preconceived notions or disrupting the paradigm of a traditional classroom opens up pathways to engagement, allowing for a full range of creative responses, including from those who are normally too shy to do such things, all the way through to those rambunctious students just waiting for permission to let their enthusiasm show. All responses to the content, including a lack of response, provides valuable formative assessment or a working assessment on the cognition taking place among students as the presentation progresses. And when appropriate, this information can prompt a response from the floating assistant instructors. The presentation is thusly dramatized throughout, with floating assistants as described above, all supported by a home slide deck to provide multimedia content to further enrich the presentation.